The West Side has always been a heavy populated Latino community, as far as I can remember. I mean, a long time, right? Probably even before I was born. But with the reform, with the attention the West Side has been getting over the last, I would say like 5 to about 7 years, it has been a huge melting pot for a lot of different people. Now, the Latino community is still heavy over there. You will notice it, you will experience it. That's where I go to get my rice and beans, pastelitos, empanadas, and just to hang out. It's still a dope community over there. Because the Upper West Side backs right up into Elmwood Village is becoming more and more expensive to live in. That's just hands down, right? It's becoming not as easy to afford or buy a house that you could years ago. What's next in line, or what's closest to it? The Upper West Side, right? That more still reasonably affordable area, but it's just a stone's throw away from Elmwood Village. You can still access those amenities that Elmwood Village has. But if you notice the different points, like the Left Bank, the Remedy House, right? You have 5 Points Bakery. What is that? Moneybags Dumpling. All those restaurants that's popping up on that Upper West Side, closer to that West Side area, a lot of them resemble those kind of hipster, modern era restaurant, boutique, mom and pop restaurants that you will start to find on Elmwood, right? So it's just kind of migrating that way, which is pretty dope. Now, with the combination of Niagara Street, you have the movie studio going up over there. West Side, you have the nice sidewalks, the new bike paths that we were seeing all up and down Niagara Street. Plus, you have 2 major reconstructed warehouses or buildings that put in 50 plus apartment units and more to come. So kind of like that middle West Side area off Niagara Street, you have those kind of Upper West Side, that Middle West Side kind of converging into 2 and making a lot more people, again, move into those areas. You got to think, with 50 plus apartments, that's 100 new couples, families, single people, you know what I'm saying? Just more people kind of moving in, and then with people moving down, trickling away from Elmwood Village because they can't afford it no more. You have the West Side coming up in a major way. I've been telling you guys so much about this specific area in Buffalo, and today is going to be the day we're going to tour through everything. I'm talking about massive, when I mean massive revitalization over here. Now, there is some pockets still that you still gotta watch out for, but the money is coming over here because you got the water right behind it. You have so many of these old brick buildings that we'll see as we walk up and down the street that's turning into lofts, that's turning into new businesses, new startups, new restaurants, new communities. And I'm really talking about the area of Buffalo, the West Side. You guys know this has been a long time running of a heavy Latino community, right? As of the last kind of 5 years or so, it has turned into a massive melting pot. Now, my Latino brothers and sisters still got a heavy presence over here, don't get me wrong, right? But you have a lot more people moving over here because of not only the lower taxes, you can still get a nice huge double for very little, or in some cases very little, depending on if it's already remodeled or not. But you can also get a great way of living. You still right on the edge of the water. You still can get downtown in less than 10 minutes. So many other things. So let's go take this walk through this vlog tour right now. I'm super excited to show you guys this. Now, this will be a parts 1 and 2 just because the West Side is so long. You got some different parts, but let's get to it nonetheless. So now over here, this is on Albany, and I believe it's Albany Niagara right here. These are supposed to be, these old buildings are supposed to be getting taken down, supposed to be all new apartments. Now, they're supposed to be filing that petition to get all the zoning and stuff like that done. But these will be all new high rises, and you can kind of see the water over here. See the water right there? So these apartments should overlook the water, which is gonna be a super, super nice scenery, right? Imagine you on a 5th floor, 6th floor, whatever they get the zoning for, and then be able to overlook the water, chill out, wake up in the morning to that beautiful, beautiful sight. This is gonna be amazing. I believe the Douglas company is actually getting that done. So it's the same people who own Seneca One. He's actually been buying up a lot of real estate, and really transforming Buffalo to a lot of major things. So hopefully they can get started on that sooner than later. I believe that's the location. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's where it is. But he's been buying up a lot of people actually have, just because we want to take advantage. Knock down the old buildings. Y'all know I always preach that, especially inside the city. Some houses that's been vacant for 10, 12 years, take them down, rebuild new. That's what really get people back inside the city. We got to get more new builds inside the city for sure. Now, what I want to show you is across the street right here. So across the street, that is the brand new movie studio. So that's going to be honestly amazing in itself. So the movie studios, you can see right here, that it's a soundstage movie studio. That's gonna be amazing for this area, because it's gonna bring a lot more people, right? There's so many movies that shot in Buffalo. Why not keep the soundstage here, get all the production here? That way they don't have to go back and keep more money inside the city. So as you can see, they made these bike lanes too on Niagara, which is real nice. It's definitely a huge plus that they got these bike lanes in. They're trying to get more people biking in Buffalo. I remember one of my first videos, we talked about that. And this is proof that they're really sticking by it and living to it. And this soundstage is right here on West Ferry in Niagara. Now, right behind me is Rich Products, as I just showed you guys. So Rich Products is a staple manufacturer inside the Buffalo area. They've been around for God knows how long. You ever hear like the Rich product like Cool Whip? That's Rich. So they have this basically whole corner right here, which is nice. And they also do a lot of development too inside the city. So that's always a beautiful thing. And you can see how they took all these older brick buildings, and look what they're creating. They're taking them from 1920, man, and really modernizing them, but keeping that same brick texture. Look at that. You got that. Look at that. I wonder if those are Andersons. Don't ask me how I know this, but you got the Anderson 400s, which are black. Like if you ever building a house in Buffalo, ask for the Anderson 400 blacks. I'm telling you. I don't know if they call it that specifically, but Anderson 400, the black trim on the end outside. Oh my gosh, it makes your house pop so well. It's really nice. But you got a new bakery here. That's called Frost. Same thing, taking that old brick building and revitalizing everything. You have just a massive amount of new startups, new pop-up stores, new mom and pop stores, new restaurants. A bunch of everything. So this is what I'm actually excited to show you guys, because it is so much happening from this point forward. It's amazing. You remember how I was talking about the water before and how those apartments would look amazing overlooking it? We have found the water, my good people. But this is Broderick Park. I don't know how to say it. It's one of those two though. I'm gonna go with Broderick because it sounded a lot better. But this is Broderick Park. You can come out here, you can either take along the walk along the shoreline, you can bike across the shoreline, but how to get here is right off Niagara up there. You kind of take the drawbridge over. Obviously you can't walk on a drawbridge if it's up, but you walk, you can see a couple people fishing down here. And then you can just take the shoreline all the way around. Look how beautiful that is, man. Like, I'm telling you, some people be hating on the Buffalo areas, not thinking it's as beautiful as it is. We have so many bodies of water, which then turns into parks, sceneries, eateries. I mean, you can do all types of stuff out here, and it's absolutely amazing. If you look right behind us right there, back here, Canada, Peace Bridge. Easiest way. So this was Broderick Park. This is pretty much the history of it. It was that Black Rock ferry kind of area to get from Buffalo to Canada. Super dope, right? I didn't even know this was here until today. That's amazing. Look what you find when you're walking around. It really is amazing like how much history Buffalo really has. I mean, for them to use that park or that section to get from Buffalo to Canada, escape to freedom, man, it makes you think about a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like how pivotal Buffalo was in the upcoming of the United States, how we used our body of water, how we got from A to B, and really a lot of that transportation and things like that were through Buffalo. Like how else would you have that connection between Buffalo and Canada, or Canada to the United States without Buffalo, right? So that is really, really amazing to think about that. Now, speaking of real estate, let's talk about it a little bit. You're gonna find more doubles on the west side than anything, right? That's going to be where you're leaning more towards to if you're gonna be purchasing over in the west side area. And personally, that is the way I took, or that's the route I took as far as purchasing investment properties first and then buying a single family. I would encourage you guys to do the same thing. Think about it. Even if you buy the double now, right? Living it as a single family, later on reconvert it back into a double, rent out both units, that'll help pay for some of your primary living areas. Now, let's talk about single families and doubles in and around the west side. To give you guys a nice visual, I kind of started this around the Elmwood Village west side, upper west side border, right on that like roundabout around Massachusetts. So as we're taking this drive through, I'm going to talk a little bit and then show you guys the rest of the streets that we kind of went down to give you the progression and kind of see where the west side is, where it's not, and where it's kind of coming to, right? So let's start this on Massachusetts, right out that roundabout, and then we're going to cross over into Vermont going towards Niagara Street. So over last year, right, there were 72 single family homes sold on the west side last year, right? No particular upper or lower or middle, right? There are 72 single family homes that were sold on the west side last year for an average of $193,000. Now, the max price, so the most somebody paid for a single family on the west side was $645,000. So that's a very big difference from average to max, right? And when it comes to multifamilies, there's no difference in that either. The crazy part is, like I told you, there's more doubles than singles on the west side. There were 141, so almost double the amount of single families sold. There was 141 multifamilies sold on the west side last year for an average of $265,000. And the max sold for a double, just a double. So there were definitely ones higher than this point. There was a couple 3 units and some 4 units that sold over on the west side, but the highest double that was sold was $550,000. So, and it was beautiful. Once you guys get a chance, go ahead and look it up on Zillow. It was 84 Manchester. Absolutely beautiful. Now, this is kind of closer to Elmwood Village, but it was still considered like that upper west side kind of area. Wow. Now, here's some drawbacks to the west side when it comes to buying over there. The houses are tight. And when I mean you can stick your arm out the window and touch your neighbor if y'all both just wanted a handshake. The houses on the west side are tight. Second thing is, you will be blessed if you can get a driveway over there, right? There's literally, I kid you not, on parts of the west side, you can have 2-3 houses next to each other. 2 of them have walkways. The one on the, or the last one will have a driveway. So that's how tight the west side houses are. Like, they're very, very close together. So for you guys that may want a little bit more room, I would think about the west side, but if you guys really want some space in between your neighbors, the west side may not be a place for you. I can just tell you that straight up. Also, with the yard, if you get a nice yard, or maybe, let's say it was a lot next to you that they just knocked the house down for whatever reason, buy that lot. Like, don't leave that up for chance. If you buy a house on the west side and the lot goes up for sale next to you, you better buy it, because that just ups your value automatically, especially if you're already renovating the house inside. Plus, you get a double lot in the city on the west side. Man, listen, you put a driveway and a garage on that, you just got a lot of extra money, I could tell you that. Now, when it comes to basements on the west side, you're gonna find a lot of limestone foundations. So you're gonna have damp basements, something that you really can't control. You're gonna have damp basements. Sub pump, I would do some type of waterproofing if you can, especially if you're getting a lot of water in, or you're starting to get a lot of water in. Do some type of waterproofing. This can be a concrete mix, this can be a waterproofing mix, but do something down there. Limestone, you gotta think, it's just a bunch of stones, rock, and mortar, right? That's all it is to that foundation. You're gonna have areas where you're gonna get through. I've seen some people spray foam it. I don't necessarily like that all the way. I think it's more of a band-aid than a quick fix and a band-aid. So I would think about just doing some mortar. It's a little more work, a little bit more sweat equity, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube to be able to show you kind of how to mud it up, seal it up, dry lock it. It'll last a lot longer. As always, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Now, this is going to be part 1 of 2 on the west side. We really didn't talk or touch the lower west side too much. We kind of stayed around Niagara Street. There's also Grant Street as well too. That's a part of the west side. That's a major intersection and major community over there. So we're going to be doing the lower west side and Grant Street in the next part 2 video. So make sure you guys stick around for that. We talked about the upper west side. We really stayed as a main focus on Niagara Street on this one. So make sure you guys check out for part 2. That's going to be even more of the west side. The west side is very, 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 very big. Hard to get all that stuff into one video. And then we didn't even mention Riverside yet either. So that's probably a part 3. But as always, west side, huge melting pot, especially in that upper west side, that Niagara Street area. There's a lot, when I mean a lot, moving over to that area. The people, the reform, the bike paths, the new Niagara Street, brand new sidewalks, the movie studio, the more apartments that's coming over there, the more businesses and startups and bakeries and restaurants and bars that's coming over there. There's a lot going on the west side. All right, so as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys don't already know, my name is Devonte Davis, the local realtor in and around the Buffalo area. If you guys are thinking about the west side, think long and hard, man. Think long and hard. As long as you don't mind your neighbors a little close to you, think long and hard about it. But if suburbs is more your area, Amherst, Cheektowaga, Orchard Park, Hamburg, make sure you guys hit me up with a call, email, text. You guys know this real estate thing is what I love to do, and bring you guys quality videos like this. But if you guys are moving up to the Buffalo area, or you're already in the Buffalo area looking to move around, make sure you guys hit me up with a call, email, or text. Does not matter. We always get back to you. And as always, I will see you guys in part 2 or the next one.